The Clean are one of the most influential groups to come out of the Southern Hemisphere, and perhaps New Zealand's greatest band. Formed in 1978, they became instigators of the Dunedin sound and made a sensation out of the fledgling Flying Nun label. Sadly, founding member Hamish Kilgour passed away late last year, so now seems like as good a time as ever to get the boys back on the turntable. And thanks to 2 recent reissues of key Clean texts, we are able to do so in splendid fashion, celebrating the band's enduring legacy and the label that reached hearts and minds all around the globe. The enduring Clean lineup were brothers Hamish and David Kilgour on drums and guitar respectively, and Robert Scott, who replaced early member Peter Gutteridge on bass. They all sang and they all wrote songs. There's a wonderful sense of democracy within the Clean. The band's artwork often displays 3 points of focus, or a 3-headed creature, emphasizing each member of the band as an equal part of a whole creative entity. As an inciting incident, Hamish Kilgour notes Mo Tucker's performance on a live Velvet Underground LP as his entry point into music and performance. He cites the revelatory magic of hearing her simply hitting a single snare drum for the duration of the show. In similar fashion to the liberating burst of punk rock that was seen around the world in the 1970s, it became apparent to Kilgour that anything was possible. Anything could happen, and it could be right now. Their debut single, Tally Ho, was famously recorded in mid-1981 at the Budget Night Shift Studios on a mere shoestring, costing approximately $50, but it managed to revolutionize the way that music was conceived and executed in New Zealand. The methodology of a whole generation of music makers was shifted. It's an absolutely iconic tune. We have flashes of early Pink Floyd, the Beatles, the Velvet Underground, all mixed together with this krautrock motoric groove and flashes of punchy organ. The B-side is a track called Platypus that was recorded live at the Gladstone, one of the band's regular live haunts in the early 80s. Platypus is a mid-tempo rocker, full of youthful energy that waxes and wanes with giddy enthusiasm. They followed up the Tally Ho single with the equally impressive 12-inch Boodle 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 EP. Boodle apparently being slang for cash. It was recorded on a 4-track at an old wooden hall in Auckland in September 1981 and is an equally concise yet thrilling mission statement. Housed in sensational artwork drawn by legendary scene busybody Chris Knox, the Boodle EP is a potentially life-changing 16.5-minute, 5-track experience. Billy 2 bursts to life with a vigorous acoustic guitar strum and winding bass lines over Hamish Kilgour's economic beat. There's some subtle tape reversing effects here which recall early to mid-period Beatles experimentation, and a simple sing-along chorus. Personal favourite Thumbs Off comes next with its alternatively perky and slashing guitar passages. The timeless phrase, "sometimes I just feel too much and I don't want to feel it all," hits just as well in 2023 as it did in 1981. Anything Could Happen, which was one of the EP's singles, is an oddball call to action with a playful bass line and gently noodling lead guitars. Lyrics like, "The choice is yours, so make it worthwhile," joyfully jostle with the tale of a narrator in desperate need of direction. Closing track, Point That Thing Somewhere Else, is considered one of Hamish's signature tunes and is the peak distillation of the group's early German-infected jam band influences. This one was actually co-written with Peter Gutteridge before he left the group. There's a live version of this track on YouTube from November 1981, which stretches to about 15 minutes, and it is well worth checking out. This sound helped to blow the lid off the local indie scene and garnered rave reviews. I should note that the recent reissue of Boodle 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 comes complete with a replica of the original zine that was included with the first press, which I think is pretty cool. These early Clean releases traded in the same minimalism and simplicity that was being utilised to great effect by acts like the Ramones and the Stooges, but with an added psychedelic edge as they sought that magic spot, a groove in the fusion of the mechanic and the organic. The success of the Clean and Flying Nun proved that the one-way culture stream into New Zealand, so reviled by the Kilgours, was finally developing a reverse flow. Of course, the only thing left to do now was release another EP, lovingly titled Great Sounds Great, Good Sounds Good, So-So Sounds So-So, Bad Sounds Bad, Rotten Sounds Rotten. And then break up. briefly reconvening to release the 7-inch Getting Older and support The Fall on their notorious 1982 winter tour before calling it a day. This wasn't exactly the end though, as the boys would jettison into an array of exciting projects, with the Kilgours' puntastic The Great Unwashed and Scott's sensational jangle pop outfit, The Bats. They would also reform under the Clean moniker to release full-length albums in 1990, 94, 96, 2001, and finally 2009. The lack of a conventional trajectory allowed the band to operate without a sustained pressure, moving only when they wanted to, and I think we are all the better for it. It's certainly sad that we will never see the band's classic lineup perform again, but we can certainly be thankful for what we have. More to come from me on Flying Nun in the future, I reckon, but in the meantime, tell me, what is your favourite Clean release, or what is your favourite record from the 1980s classic Flying Nun era? Let me know down below, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.